It's the book of James, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 3, right? It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? And that patience essentially goes back into enduring. Being able to stand the test that we have to face. Whether that be losing family members, or whether that be just the Most High chastising you to prove you. Okay, which that doesn't stop. Depending on your level of understanding and where the Most High has you at spiritually, it may be a little bit more than certain other brothers. Okay, because YAHAWAH Shema Shai doesn't put more on us than we can handle. All right. So this is essentially just a trying. Excuse me. Is a trying of our faith. All right, be it through that patience, that being made hard. All right, when you get to endure, that's what it means to make hard. And we're made hard through trial. It says, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Because even with another thing with patience comes experience. You experience things. Okay, you go through something like, okay, well, how did I deal with the situation last time? Okay, well, what happened last time I did this? And essentially, trial by trial, that will make you a better individual. Okay, as if and I'm not going to say you, I'm just saying it, including myself as well. That's if you recognize this as the Most High trying to beat the impurities out of us. Okay, but that's what trials are for. They're to beat the impurities up out of us, that we may be perfect, like it says, perfect and entire. All right, which none is perfect. To be perfect meaning lacking nothing, wanting nothing. All right, let's actually get that perfect real quick, and I'll move on. All right, you get this word perfect, Strong's G5046. Teleos, it says, brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing necessary to completeness. That which is perfect, consummate human integrity and virtue of men, full grown, adult, of full age, mature. It helps us mature, and then through the Spirit. We were reading, what were we reading? I believe in the book of Hebrews, the 6th chapter, and this word came up. This Greek word specifically, teleos, came up, meaning to be mature. So this truth, it does help us mature as long as we're willing to accept those challenges. All right. And sometimes them challenges will come at a time where you're not expecting it. All right. But YAHAWAH Shema Shai is always on time. How they say in the world. He's not always there when I call, but he's always on time. Which, we don't go around saying that, but YAHAWAH Shema Shai is on time with the with everything. He's perfect, man. He's perfect. He's the only one good. He's the only one perfect. All right, but let's get back to it. This is James 1 in verse 5. And this is the point. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not. So it says, if any of us lack wisdom, let's ask of YAHAWAH Shema Shai. All right. And what was a perfect example of a man that asked of the Most High, and that that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was given unto him liberally? Our forefather, King Solomon. Okay, he didn't wish for thrones. He didn't wish for an abundance of money. He didn't wish for an abundance of women. He didn't wish for riches. He said that, Lord, I pray that you just give me the spirit to be able to lead and guide such a great people. And what was given unto him? It was given unto him the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do that, and also all the things he didn't ask for. Okay? Because he asked in truth and in sincerity, and that's another thing. He didn't ask amiss. And in this truth, we can't be asking amiss. All right, we have to focus on things that make us better men and better women of the Lord. But it's saying on the second part of this going back to this quote, when you focus on what you have, you lack what you get. So like you get what you lack. So if hey, Just don't get mad when you don't have something if you ain't asking for it, if you're not focusing on it. That's just plain and simple. That's how life is. How much more the scriptures? Okay? If you're not asking the Most High to increase us in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, not asking Him for patience, to give me the spirit to have patience. Lord, give me the spirit to be more mindful, to be less selfish. Whatever. If the mindset's not there, then that's exactly what you're gonna receive. You did the same mindset of being selfish or being, essentially just being a nigga. That's what it boils down to. And what does that lead unto? That leads unto ultimate destruction, fiery destruction. Back in the precept, it says, I'll read it again, verse 5, James 1:5, it says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that give it to all men liberally, and upbraideth not. So he ain't gonna be like, oh, here you go asking for, why you asking for more? Why you asking for more integrity, man? Why you ask for, why you asking to be more merciful? The Most High is not like that. Most High is very merciful, very forgiving, and He's very righteous in His works. If He wants us to serve Him, then He's going to give us the necessary things to serve Him. All right, He could change our mindset. All right, He could put it on us to have that spirit of wanting to change. All right. Now, of course, it's something that the elder brothers here say a lot, man. It does require action on top of that. Okay. I mean, we got to do some type of work ourselves. The Most High, He ain't just about to be handing out, free spiritual cookies, and we can't even bring the milk. For lack of a better analogy. I mean, we got to do something too. But reading on, it says, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. Right? I mean, you're confident in what you're asking. Right? You're not doubting. It says, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. Okay? For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord YAHAWAH. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, our mind, if we want to get better, if we want YAHAWAH to give us certain spiritual gifts, for lack of a better term, to help change our mind, we can't. What they say, closed mouths don't get fed. So we gotta look upon things that accompany salvation. I want to get that, and I'll probably just close it out. I didn't have too many precepts, but I didn't want to let this pass. Accompany salvation. I believe that's in Hebrews 6 and verse 9. It says, but beloved, we are persuaded better things of you, and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. Okay? Now, some accompany salvation. This is something that complements it, right? And you get that word accompany. It goes in the Strong's G2192. It says to have, i.e. to hold. To hold, it's like to have, hold in the hand in the sense of wearing. To have, hold in possession of the mind. Refers to alarm, agitating emotions, etc. To hold, fast, keep. To have or comprise or involve, to regard or consider or hold as. Reading down, it says to be closely joined to a person or a thing. To hold oneself to a thing, to lay hold of a thing, to adhere or to cling to. So the things that help us cling onto salvation are not only the righteous works, right, which are, doing the works of YAHAWAH, teaching, ministering unto the saints, that's one part, all right? But other things that accompany salvation is our mindset in YAHAWAH. Is it set upon His will? Is it set upon, me having better attributes to complement His will? All right. being able to have patience, being able to talk, abounding the base, being able to talk to people with respect, and at the same time pushing this truth out. All right, to have temperance, to have faith, so on and so forth. These are things that help us cling onto salvation. This is why it says to hold fast to what thou hast. Right? Hold fast, not hood fast. Hold fast to what thou hast. Right? This is Revelation 3:11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So that means there has to be a constant want to grow in this thing. A constant want to get better in YAHAWAH in this thing. All right? One more precept. Back in that book of, I believe it's in this chapter still. Is it in this chapter? I thought it was. Maybe in the next chapter. Let's see. And then I'll close it out. Okay, nope. It's nowhere even in Hebrews. It's 1 Corinthians 7:35. It says, and this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. Excuse me. That we may attend upon the Lord without distraction. Going back to holding fast to things that accompany salvation, because not that specifically, but holding on to the things that don't accompany salvation. That's how I want to say it. Hold on to the things that don't accompany salvation. Okay? Even if it's someone in your life, that comes around. If you have that individual and that individual is not helping you be better in YAHAWAH or becoming a nuisance, when you go to do the work, or, constantly wants to give you issues, when you want to go chill with the brothers, okay, or when you're hanging out with the brothers, whether that be us, going out to, have a couple of drinks and talk, or whether that be just fellowshipping, fellowshipping in the spirit. Get rid of, we got to start getting rid of things that ain't helping us out, man. Get rid of things that's holding us back. Getting rid of things that's throwing our minds off. Starting with myself. We all have something that we can get rid of that can help us be better in the Lord. Hey, that's why it says the time is short. Let those who have wives be as though they had none. Let them that weep, mourn not, roughly paraphrasing. Because our job is, is to serve YAHAWAH. All right? And we have to do that give him our full attention. Right? So, I'm going to leave it there. Just wanted to get into that, and I pray that this is an edifying video. So, with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH, Bahasham, Raha Kodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops of the great millstone. Peace, love, and safety is to the hopeful elect document out there. Shalom.